So today we'll take a look at an easy way of creating unique plucks and string-like sounds in Bitwig with a technique called Karplus Strong. As always, I added the ideas from this video to the PDF of tips and tricks I keep on updating. It's available on my Patreon together with the project files from this video and from many other videos. And I want to quickly show you this in hardware. What we need is a burst of noise or a click, something to excite a delay that is set to high feedback and short delay times, and we get this string-like sound, this plucky sound. What I have here is a very short burst of noise going through a VCA and a very short envelope controlling it. Right, and this is going to the delay, so I'm going to set the delay all the way wet, and then set a shorter delay time and high feedback. And already we get this effect. Now the delay time will control the pitch, and the feedback will control the decay. And of course the incoming signal will very much change the result. So if I make, for example, the envelope longer, you get something a bit more aggressive. And another aspect of this technique is having a filter in the feedback loop. So I can send the feedback loop through a low-pass filter in this case. Right, and now when I start closing the filter, we get a different pluck. And now let's quickly look at the same idea in Bitwig. I have here the polysynth with a simple sequence. And first of all, I will turn this into a short pluck, just like we've seen in hardware. So I will take the envelope all the way down, maybe turn off the filter, and in this case, instead of using the oscillator, I can use noise. Right now I can use the delay plus, for example, set it to mono, mix all the way up. I just want to hear the processed sound. Let's go with a short delay time. So again, I will change this to milliseconds. And in this case, I already tuned this so I can enter a specific value. In my case, it's 3.84, right? And then high feedback. Right, and again we get a string-like sound. We even have built-in filters here. Right, and again, depending on the length of the exciter, we can get different results. Right, I can add some delay to this and maybe send reverb. Right, so we get a nice plucky sound. Of course, this works also in the grid. Let me go in here. Right, in this case, I'm using triggers from the gates sequencer or the gates module here to excite the delay. In this case, I'm using the long delay. Again, set to short delay times. I can change the length of the triggers with the gate length module. Right, I can make it longer or shorter. Right, and again, now we need high feedback, and to create a feedback loop, since we are already using the long delay, I can just send it back into the mixer, and then we have feedback level. And again, I can add just a simple low-pass filter in the feedback loop. Right, and we get the same effect more or less. Also here I will add some delay. Right, and of course we can take this also in different directions. So here I have the polymer, right, with some modulation. This is how it sounds like before I have a delay. Right, again, short delay with high feedback, so I'm going to add one. Right, and we have a more complex sound, especially with the modulation. You can see I'm modulating the filter, modulating the feedback. And of course, we can also stack delays. So you see I have here two more. I'm going to add them. Right, again with modulation. So we get something much more complex. I have here a ride with the same idea. Right, again, just set with the decay all the way down. This is before the delay. Right, and then I have here the stereo split. I have different delays on the left and on the right. Right, with the modulation on the filter. Right, modulation on the delay time, so it's a bit more glitchy. And just for fun, I have here a kick and a hi-hat. Now in Bitwig there's actually a much easier way of creating Karplus strong voices, and that's with a comb filter. So I have here again just a burst of noise, right, in this case with the polysynth, set again just to output noise. Now I can use the comb device, this one here, and a comb filter is actually a delay. So we can also use it for Karplus strong. As you can see, we have again frequency and feedback. Right, so again we get a string-like sound, but there is even a better comb filter for this, and that's the one on the filter plus and sweep. So let me get rid of this for a second, and I will use filter plus. Right, here we have different filter modes. I can choose the comb filter. Right here again we have feedback and even filtering. Right now, if I double click the frequency control, it will automatically tune this to the note C, and then we can use the key track modulator to play the frequency, the pitch, to sequence this sound. Right, so I will add the key track plus, and then map this by exactly 60. Right, if we look here on the help, you can see that it says if we want perfect key tracking, to have it, to have the depth of modulation set to 60 semitones. Right now this will also follow pitch. And we get a nice plucky sound. Right, I can add some chorus to this, maybe some delay. And again, this will work also with the sweep device. So let me solo this here. Right, I have just a kick with a set to a short click. It's not even a kick, it's just again to excite the comb filter in this case. Right, and now I have here sweep set with the comb filter and some drive. Right, again without. And now with. Right, I can even add another filter. And then a few effects like a phaser, amp and delay. Right, and this is also available built-in in the Polymer device. Right, so here I have a simple sequence. Right, but again, we want just a burst of noise or just a burst, a click to excite the comp filter. Now, if I set this here in the envelope comes after the filter, so we cannot use it. But what we can do is activate the noise envelope and then add just noise. Right, and then we have here the noise envelope, right? So now we get a burst of sound and a burst of noise, and with the comp filter, right, we have this same effect. And here we have even built-in pitch tracking. Right, and I can add some modulation here to the filter and to the feedback or the decay in this case. Right, and again, just for fun, I have here a kick, ride and clap. And of course, this is also available in the grid. So here I have again the gates module, sending a short trigger to the comp filter module. Right, for now it sounds just like clicks, but again I can start adding feedback. We have also, by the way, two modes. We have positive feedback and negative feedback that will sound different. Right, and again a built-in filter, and here we also have built-in pitch tracking, so I have here a sequence. Right, with some delay. I have here a delay with a pitch shifter in the feedback loop. Now this works great also as an effect on drums. So let me solo this. Right, for now it's just a drum loop with some effects. I have here a few hits, push, chorus. Right, but as soon as I add the comp filter, we get something much more unique. Right, again without and with. There's also pitch tracking here that I'm using another sequence with it. Right, I have here also a filter plus with some modulation just to make this a bit more unique. And this works great also polyphonically with polyphonic chords. Right, of course, the polygrid is polyphonic. By the way, also filter plus and sweep are also polyphonic, which you can also use. So here I have chords. This is how it will sound like without the, or what it will sound like without the comp filter. Right, just noise and now with. Right, so you can also use this polyphonically, just for fun. I have here some percussion and a kick. Right, and that was it for today. I hope you will go and experiment with this technique a bit more. Thank you for watching. Cheers.